So probably the biggest free agent on the market, DeAndre Hopkins, is now off the market. He is going to Tennessee on a 2-year deal. 26 million could go up to 32 million. And from a Titans perspective, I actually understand it. A lot of people are criticizing the fit. I think they're going to go into the season. Mike Vrabel's never going to start a season quitting in tank mode. He just ain't going to do that. And they're going to start the season assuming they can compete in that division. You never know. Maybe Trevor Lawrence has to miss some games and you're in it, whatever the case may be. And now Hopkins helps you do that. Now, I think reality will set in probably around the bye week that it's a little bit of a rebuilding time for them, and they'll make the switch to Levis. And now you give your young quarterback a very reliable, still what I would consider a lower end number one wide receiver in this league who has really great catch radius, good route runner, and some of the best hands in this generation of football. And DeAndre Hopkins. From Hopkins' perspective, I guess money kind of ended up doing the talking after he listed off all the quarterbacks and teams he wanted to play for, and the money just wasn't there for Buffalo or Kansas City. And from a Jets perspective, I think we've kind of known for over a month. I've accepted he wasn't going to be a Jet. The only evidence that he was going to be a Jet is that fans, myself included, wanted him to, and the team obviously had interest in upgrading at wide receiver because they offered a contract to Odell Beckham Jr., but whenever he was asked about the Jets, he never really said anything positive. And then when Saleh was asked about him, he pretty much dismissed it. So that was pretty much dead on arrival for the better part of over a month now. And then a few of the suitors, though, were in our division and competitors in our conference. The Patriots seemed like they were the runner-ups. The Bills and the Chiefs were reported early on as teams that were sniffing around in trade talks, and I think the money just wasn't there. I am glad he didn't go to Buffalo or the Chiefs. And the Patriots, I know it's crazy to say because they've beaten us like 15 times in a row, but I don't know if that was really moving the needle for them. I just think if you don't have a top 20, 18 quarterback, there's kind of a cap on what you can accomplish in your ceiling. That's just the way I see the New England Patriots at this point. And if we're not better than them, then people are getting fired. So yeah, I'd imagine we're better than the Patriots. And with the Bills, okay, the part of the attitude is I don't care. We have Sauce Gardner. I like that attitude, but I prefer to face Gabriel Davis in a playoff game in Buffalo than DeAndre Hopkins if it came down to it. So whatever kind of fan that makes me, guilty as charged there. And then with Kansas City too, I think if you gave Patrick Mahomes another, I don't know if still elite, but very excellent weapon to pair with Travis Kelce, that would have been made them just on another level. I know maybe I'm being premature and putting the Jets in the tier with those teams, but I just think that's where we got to be. When you make that trade for Aaron Rodgers, that's the company we should be looking to keep. So I am glad he didn't go to those teams. From a Jets perspective, now, maybe they just found out early on in the process that he did not want to be a Jet, and that was the end of it. It is a little puzzling, however, if that's not the case and they didn't have interest in him, but they had interest in Odell Beckham Jr. because similar age, some baggage, money, kind of similar. Actually, Hopkins a little bit less on an annual basis. Maybe it's that. Maybe it's a locker room fit. But also I think Beckham brought some more speed and yak and explosiveness that Hopkins brings, who's really just, I don't want to say possession receiver because he can still get you over 1,000 yards, but kind of a possession receiver at this point in his career. So hopefully the Jets come to Corey Davis and they ask him to take a little bit of a haircut. And, Corey Davis on a 1-year, $8 million deal as opposed to Hopkins on a 2-year, $32 million deal. I could probably live with it. I think it'll work out like the Jets getting Brandon Marshall, where it's 1 year of really still high impact player, and the second year the mileage catches up and then it's kind of fizzles out of the league is really where it tends to hit you at 31, 32 years old at the wide receiver position. So there it is. Me and Dom C spent way too long talking about this entire Jets roster. You can check that video out down below. Subscribe if you're new, and go Jets.